No.
Motion to accept the board meeting agenda as presented in front of you.
Second.
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Are there any recognitions this evening?
There is one, and he's not here. Yes. There is one, and she's not present, but I want to make sure that everybody knows that today the governor announced the school nurses of the year. And she announced that all the school nurses in the state of Maine are being recognized this year as winners of School Nurse of the Year. What they've done over COVID and the pandemic is absolutely amazing. And I want to take the time to make sure that we recognize our nurse, Nurse Monica, for the job that she's done this year. So Monica, I know you couldn't make it tonight, but this round of applause is for you. Thank you.
Consideration of regular board meeting minutes, April 13th, 2021, and the special board meeting we had on May 6th, 2021. Any motion?
Motion to accept.
Give it a second.
Okay.
Anybody see any errors or anything left out? Seeing none, Chris?
Tony?
Yes.
Chris? Yes. Ross?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Consent agenda, which requires no motion, no action. Finance committee meeting minutes, April 13th, 2021. Presentations, Deb Middlesworth, alumni presentation. Deb?
Good evening. It's so good to see you all again. I'm here today on behalf of the Sarasota District High School Alumni Association. After talking with a number of fellow alumni on the group and on our site, our Facebook pages, and retired teachers, parents, and students like Max from the Student Council, and community members, we took a hard look at our bylaws and mission statement more closely. While in the past, we have always supported college for 3 students every year, you know, I think we've given over $120,000 so far. But we haven't, that's only for post-secondary, and it only addresses helping like 3 kids. And we're still having our golf tournament this year. It's going to be moved to Northport. We're still going to be raising funds for the scholarship. But we would like to go further. We'd like to enhance and support more secondary needs within the school. We know times are tough. But we want to go beyond just those 3 kids to college, to reach more students in the school while they're going to high school. Recently, the Alumni Association was a sponsor for the cornhole tournament. We want to start out with something for the seniors to benefit this year's class. And we would like to add more positives to reach more students and have more alumni involved, if that's possible. So some ideas we've been kicking around, coming up with, would be for student groups to fill out requests for support for different activities that would be beyond the budget, such as the seniors event this year, maybe 8th grade event next year. But we use a separate line for our funds, separate from scholarships. And we raise that money from alumni here, locally, and afar. And there are many, many alumni that are still committed to the school. And it would be under our nonprofit status. So it would be giving funds to these groups separate from your budget line. We'd like to work with student groups, admin, staff, school board, different school groups, to focus on good news and positives of our school. I think, especially this year, we know it's hard to keep our alumni and our community involved. So we would like to have more alumni involved in mentorships, perhaps. That might be a way to go. To show and enhance school spirit through their expertise. That could be done through money that's raised, through volunteerism, and ways to encourage students, such as, say, a job fair, where alumni come in and they show what they've done with their education from Sears 4 High to District High School, and what they've accomplished. And it doesn't have to be a 4-year college degree. It could be a 1-year diesel mechanic degree that has made their life successful. We want to show them all the different options that are out there and how alumni has succeeded. So over the summer, I am requesting, if that's possible, to work with me and other fellow alumni to work with school sources to become more involved partners, if that's possible. And with our school, and question here is, how can we help you? There are thousands of them. Any ideas or input you have would be greatly appreciated to help our school provide an even better experience for all of our students. Not just the 3 that go off to college that we support with a scholarship. And help them graduate as proud Vikings, and they can see a future that's bright. So, we are proud Vikings. We'd like to help more.
Thank you, Deb. Does anybody have any questions for Deb? I just want to say thank you, Deb. I think this is a great idea to get involved with more than just the 3 students that you choose. As students now are taking a much different path than normal, and I think the importance of the camaraderie and the friendship of elders with younger people today is lost. There's not that respect that there used to be. I think this is a great way to get connected with the youth again, to keep them involved in their community, to keep them involved in their school after high school. I know the tournament this weekend was great. I dropped my son off and picked him up, and you know, he stood down there and froze because he was foolish and wore short, but he weren't leaving until it was over. And there was people down there that I know graduated from here 40 and 50 years ago. So I thought that was great. I thought they did a great job. I hope they raised a lot of money. And I'm really glad to hear that something like this is going to take place. I think it'll make the community stronger. That's one thing we've always had, is a strong community. But I think this will be even better. Thank you.
Yes, we can have another level of support for these kids. What you're talking about in regard to sharing their experiences and having a job there, like mentor, like beyond. Make it meaningful experiences, but yet another way of no, it's much have better.
And what could we as board members do to help you facilitate this?
I've been working with Max on a couple of different forms that we could submit to alumni, and make it available on our site where alumni could fill it out and suggest ways that they could help, either financially or mentorships or job shadowing. There's a lot of different ideas to kick around. So anything that you come up with and you want to email me or send through Max right now. You want to add to that?
I think you got the right guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I've listened to a few of his presentations for a few years now, and I'm still at R, and I'm waiting for him to speak.
especially after his written, published article, right? But I'm really excited. I've been talking to a lot of retired teachers on that association, but also a lot of alumni because we are, still in connection there. And they really want to do more. They want to show the school how awesome it is to be an alumni and have this education, and what they can do with it. So, any way you can help us.
A lot of people don't know this, but it was some of the alumni of this school that really helped propel during the withdrawal. And it was all done behind the scenes. It was kind of a push by a few of those people that got the ball really rolling and got the other side to get their gear so we could be by ourselves again.
Well, as I say here, I think about that. And I said to Max, this is a lot easier than asking for over $1 million to one organization to support your school when I was president of SLS. So, thank you. We're still here.
Public participation? Report for the superintendent.
I will start out with a couple of resignations. First of all, please consider this my letter of resignation from Litchfield's position at Fairport High School. I will continue to finish out the school year. Thank you for the opportunity to set up the life skills program over the past 2 years. You can rest assured that all students will have their curriculum in order in early June. I will be working with the education technicians, set up individual programs for the students returning in the fall. And thank you so much. And that's best regards, Lynette Smith. And then I have another person moving on. I would like to officially inform you as next year I will be not renewing my contract with RSU 20. I am taking a teaching job at Narragansett Junior High School beginning in the fall of 2021. Thank you for allowing me to work at Fairport District High School for the past few months. I'm excited to use the skills I've learned here in my future teaching career, and that's from Christina Cludia. And then also we have Olivia Grant moving on, and Liz Bradstreet as well. So thank you to those folks for their service to RSU 20. Just to update you on a couple items, excuse me, I have to take math out from my glasses fogged up. The ESSA3, or what we simply call the E3 applications, which will involve financial assistance under the American Rescue Plan. The Department of Education has requested surveys on data information from the districts regarding mode of instruction, which is either in person, hybrid, or remote enrollment in those modes of instruction and attendance. We've taken care of that as far as RSU 20. So we've sent that survey in, and as of May 19th, hopefully we will hear back from the DOE so that we can start the application for the E3 money, which, as I told you at a prior meeting, RSU 20 is looking at 1.8 million, which is really should be designed this time for student achievement gaps and other items to help the students. The second point coming from the DOE, just to let you know that Pfizer has approved vaccinations for ages 12 to 15. And that was brought to the attention a couple of weeks ago. The DOE and the CDC have been forwarding communications and recommendations to the district. We as a district have been asked about holding clinics. At this time, the district is not willing to hold a clinic because the clarity of the process just has not been made clear enough. And, we as a district need to make sure that we know what's going on, and we would bring that back to the board before any decision would ever be made. Another announcement, I mentioned about Governor Mills and Monica. That came out again today. And then I wanted to let everybody know the upcoming committee meetings. They're all held at central office at 6 o'clock. There's a policy committee meeting this coming Monday, the 17th. There's a building, ground, and transportation, which will be held the following Monday, the 24th at 6. And then at Waldo County Tech Center, their cooperative board meeting is a week from Thursday on May 20th at 6:30. We have Denise Dakin and Clint representing RSU 20. Clint Dakin now, whom a graduate of CPE and RSU. And that's it. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Chris. Finance Committee meeting, report. We met this evening. Towns are all up to date. It was another, maybe 6-minute meeting. Everything was good in finance, was saying in order. Good. The audit should be completed shortly. We have no old business this evening. Moving on to new business, consideration approval of the class of 2021 senior trip overnight June 13th to 14th in Portland.
Make a motion that we approve the trip as presented.
Can I get a second for discussion?
I'll second that one.
I just have a question, Chris. I never received a completed field trip.
Correct. And the reason being is that with the change in COVID and all that, we probably within right before April vacation, we put this together. And so we brought it at this time. You are correct. We did not do a field trip. We would do that post if we approved it.
So
And I would take responsibility for that.
we just need to get it completed so we can put it somewhere for.
Correct, for the records, yes.
Any other questions?
And the motion was by Dave and seconded by Josh.
Any other questions?
I will, we are going to be leaving the school on a charter bus, 55-passenger bus, there's 18 kids that have chosen to go along the trip, 5 chaperones.
The number of 23 people on a charter bus of 55, heading to the Portland area. We're gonna go to Funtown and Olympia Beach, and then back to the hotel, hang out there for the evening, and then the next day, again, in that South Portland area, the mall, trampoline park, and dinner at Kobe's, and then bowling and laser tag, and then back to Searsport by midnight following night.
Thank you for putting so much work into the class of 2021, Ms. Alley, over the past.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Anyone else? Chris?
Tony,
Yes?
Chris,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Congratulations, seniors. There we go. Congratulations, seniors. You'll be going on that trip, and we will do the field trip requirement that we need to file with the central office and get all the signatures. Thank you, board.
Moving on to B, consideration approval for Future Business Leaders of America to go from club status to co-curricular activity. Can I get a motion?
I'm going to approve.
Can I get a second? Any discussion?
So I just wanted to provide context. This is a group that's been running for the past 3 years with stable and growing membership under the advisement of Jennifer Rich. Over the past 3 years, they've been involved with their local community, the state, and at the national level with FBLA, but I thought it might be better at this point. Tony, you get your wish. Max has a presentation. Might be nice just to some context in the 3 short years that they've been operating as a club. They've done some pretty impressive and amazing things, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity for him to talk about that.
Before we get started, I just want to give a little shout out to Mrs. Rich. She's been with me for the past 3 years, helping this club prosper, and I couldn't have done it without her. So thank you. Appreciate it. And just real quick, 3 years ago, I saw a need in the school for financial education. I understand it's been difficult, and it's sad that we don't have any business classes or curriculum, but I saw a need for financial education, and I saw FBLA, or Future Business Leaders of America, as a way to supplement that business education, and I really think it's made an impact on students. So I just want to go over some of the things that we've been able to accomplish over the past 3 years, because I couldn't be more proud of this group. After the first 2 years, we weren't able to go to the state conference. The first year because of lack of funding, the second year because of COVID. This year, I'm proud to say we were able to attend the state conference. And in total, we took home 1 individual first place award at the state level, 3 individual second place awards at the state level, and 2 team awards for third place at the state level. So all in all, we did incredible at this year's state conference, and I'm so proud of the students that competed, and I look forward to seeing students compete again next year. I don't know how many of you have saw the article, but we were featured in the Village Soup for our efforts at the State Leadership Conference, so we really wanted to not only help students, but show community members that we are trying to make a difference and trying to educate students about finance and business and all the areas that interest them. In addition to our competitive efforts, FBLA has also spent a lot of time helping the community through volunteerism. This past fall and in the winter, we helped the Waldo County Woodshed split, stack, and cut wood at Bud River's house. I wasn't there the first time, but the members can attest to how cold it was. And despite that, they did an incredible job helping cut several cords of wood that helped heat families' homes this winter in Waldo County. By far, my favorite experience of this entire FBLA experience was back in March of 2020. Now, this is a very difficult time to be a student learning in a virtual environment, but Mrs. Rich graciously allowed us to invest some money in a TD Ameritrade account. And I had this cool presentation, but many of you will remember that in March of 2020, the market bottomed out. And right about then, as future business leaders, we recognized that the economy would recover. So we placed some bets in the stock market on Mrs. Rich's behalf. And we've continued to manage that investment portfolio on Mrs. Rich's behalf. And that's given students a direct experience with how to invest, how to save, the basics of stock market investing. And that has been by far one of the most useful and practical things that we've been able to teach students. And I'm really proud of that. Another thing that we've been able to give students as an ability is the ability to communicate with businesses. This is something that I've always had to do. Starting with my years in robotics, I've always been the person to handle sponsorships. Initially out of a need, no one else wanted to do it, but eventually I became really good at it. And in these years, I've been able to make some incredible connections with the sponsors, like Bangor Savings Bank. As a sponsor of FBLA, it allowed me to come in and job shadow for them. I was also able to connect with the CFO of Child Savings Bank, Matt Walsh, who's been a mentor to me and has helped to grow FBLA at the state level. In addition to that, students have had the opportunity to interview leaders at Matthews Brothers and Nordic Apple Farms as a result of our sponsorship efforts. And the most important thing about this whole sponsorship drive that we've tried so far over the past 3 years is that we've been able to teach students how to get sponsors for themselves. My favorite example of this is that when I made sponsorship calls, I'd have students listen on mute on their phones to see how I did it. This was certainly nerve-wracking for me if they said no, but it was very educational for students to listen and hear how I was able to successfully get sponsorships. And lastly, this isn't something that we've done as a group, but I wanted to inform all of you that this year I'm running for FBLA National Treasurer, and I hope to represent FBLA at the national level and take serious sports standing of FBLA to a new level. So I hope this has been educational to you of what we've done over the past 3 years, and I certainly hope that we can continue to grow FBLA well into the future. So thank you.
I knew you'd run for office someday, Max. I knew it. Any questions for Max?
Max, can I get that, your speech and everything, so I can put it in the minutes? Can you make a copy for me?
If I'm being completely honest, that I didn't have a speech. I had a list of bulleted notes. So I didn't write anything.
I'm sure you will put together a nice report.
All right, I will.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tony,
Yes.
Chris,
Absolutely.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
We're all set, FBLA. Thank you, board.
Thank you. All right, if nobody objects, I'd like to take C as a whole, and then I'll do D and E, as they're all under the same probationary contract time period. Anybody object?
No objection.
So I'm gonna read this in the form of a motion. Teachers to continue in contract. Nicole Foster, SPED, Rachel Hartley, guidance, Philip Cracksman, social studies teacher, Jennifer Rich, math teacher, Andrea Staples, teacher librarian. Can I get a second?
Second.
As always, there's no discussion concerning personnel. Chris?
Tony,
Yes?
Chris? Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Teachers to get a third-year probationary contract. Kristen Chase, SPED teacher. Melissa Hebert, grade 4 teacher. Pam Lane, SPED teacher, grade 5. Lynn Redmond, technology integrator, K through 5.
I'll second that.
Tony,
Yes?
Chris?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Teachers to get a second-year probationary contract. Allison Bangitter. Is that correct? Bangitter, thank you. ELA teacher, Deanna Buck, grade 1 teacher. Jess Gordon, SPED teacher. Rachel Johnson, alt ed teacher. Laura Lindyberg, math teacher. Laura Lyons, halftime art teacher. And Rachel Aletis, SPED teacher, day treatment program.
I second that motion.
Chris?
Tony,
Yes?
Chris?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Consideration of approval of the following nominations. This is F1. Craig Jakes, first year probationary contract, grade 2 teacher.
I'll second.
Chris?
Tony,
Yes?
Chris?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Moving on to G, consideration of approval of the following nomination. Kathy Estabrook, first year probationary contract, grade 2.
I'll second. Tony,
Yes?
Chris?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Moving on to H1, Roman Brimer, first year probationary contract, science teacher, SDHS.
I'll second. Tony,
Yes?
Chris?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Dave?
Yes.
Moving on to I, update on budget hearing procedures and warrant signing.
This is just an update, a reminder that the budget hearing will be on May 26th. It'll be at 7 p.m. in this exact room. We'll follow the executive order of the governor as far as capacity, which I believe is at 75%, with a 6 feet distance. We will have a monitor and Faith Garrow, and we will provide live streaming as far as being able to watch it. You have to be here in order to vote. So we will provide the live streaming like we do for our board meetings. And that's the update on that.
Moving on to J, consideration of the budget referendum warrant article, and then we sign. I'm gonna read this motion. Before you warn you, and then we're gonna read it once. This is in the form of a motion. I move that the vote entitled vote to call and approve the warrant for the budget meeting and the budget validation referendum and authorize the notice and amounts adopted be approved in form presented to this meeting, and that a copy of the said vote be included with the minutes of this meeting. Vote to call and approve the warrants for the budget meeting and the budget validation referendum, and to authorize the notice of the amounts adopted. That the warrant for the RSU Regional School Unit number 20, the Regional School Unit, budget meeting presented to this meeting be approved, and that the Regional School Unit budget meeting be called for May 26, 2021, for the purpose of voting on the annual budget for the Regional School Unit for the 2021-22 fiscal year. That the warrant notice of election of the Regional School Unit budget validation referendum presented to the meeting be approved, and that the Regional School Unit budget validation referendum be called for June 8, 2021, for the purpose of approving budget adopted the Regional School Unit budget meeting for the 2021-22 fiscal year. That the form of the notice of the amounts adopted in the budget meeting presented to this meeting be approved, and that the superintendent of schools and Regional School Unit be authorized and directed to complete said notice in accordance with the Regional School Unit budget meeting on May 26, 2021, and to cause copies of said notice as completed to be delivered to the municipal clerks in each municipality of the Regional School Unit for posting at polling places for the June 8, 2021 Regional School Unit budget referendum, and that the budget meeting warrant and the warrant and notice of election, the notice of the amount adopted at the budget meeting shall be signed by the majority of the school board, and that such signature be made electronically by execution of counterparts or in person at the convenience of members of the school board.
Second that motion.
Is that a second, Dave? Tony?
Yes.
Chris? Josh?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And I believe they all need to be signed on the same line.
Yes.
If you sign on the first line, you always sign on the first line. I thought it was black only. I thought black was the only, I think black is the only legal color. I'll take all the blue pens, no problem.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah. Yeah.
You good? Okay. So the last thing is, of course, date, time, and location for the next board meeting. Just a reminder, the budget referendum here is on May 26th. Is that at 7?
Budget hearing on the 26th, and then the budget referendum vote is on Tuesday.
Next,
Board meeting.
the next regular board meeting is June 9th. Repeat, it's on the 9th because it's the day after the election. So we move that to Wednesday so we can validate the vote. Finance committee will be at 6. Regular meeting following. Motion to adjourn? Second.
Tony,
Yes?
Chris,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Dave.
Yes.
7:13. It isn't right anyway, even if you could see. 7:13. One says,